Today we are comparing the progress of New Zealand and Thailand since the 1980s, focusing on key indicators such as GDP, the GDP growth rate, per capita income, poverty line, and the percentage below it, the Gini index, unemployment rates, and the infant mortality rate. From these factors, I can say life has improved in both these countries. Since the 1980s, Thailand and New Zealand have experienced economic growth. New Zealand's GDP has steadily increased, which reflects a growing economy. Thailand has witnessed a more rapid expansion, 505.9 billion, which has established itself as a significant player in the global market. Hey! The per capita income in both countries has been showing positive trends over the years. New Zealand's per capita income has hit steady growth, which indicates improving living standards. Thailand has also witnessed a significant rise in per capita income, which means a better living standard for its citizens. A lot of nations struggle addressing poverty and income inequality. In New Zealand, the poverty line has been a point of concern. Some efforts have been made to address this issue, and the percentage of people below the poverty line has shown a gradual decline. Thailand, too, has made huge progress in reducing poverty levels, from 58% in 1990 to 6.8% in 2020. The Gini index measures income inequality, and in both New Zealand and Thailand, the Gini index has undergone some fluctuations over the past few decades. New Zealand has maintained a relatively low Gini index, which means a more equal distribution of income. Thailand has also seen improvements in reducing income inequality, but still faces challenges in achieving equitable wealth distribution. What is it? Both countries have experienced fluctuations in unemployment rates since the 1980s. New Zealand has managed to maintain relatively low unemployment rates overall, providing stable job opportunities. Thailand has also made strides in reducing unemployment with a 1.15% rate in 2022. One crucial aspect of measuring societal progress is infant mortality. New Zealand has made significant advancements in healthcare, resulting in a consistent decline. The current infant mortality rate is about 3 deaths per 1,000 live births, a 2.59% decline from 2022. Similarly, Thailand has seen remarkable improvements, with about a 3% decline every year.
Sorry everyone, there was a little glitch. Please forget what you saw immediately. Let's get back on topic now. I will now describe the history of Thailand. The Japanese occupied Thailand in 1942. Thailand declared war on Britain and the USA. However, 90,000 Nai guerrillas fought the Japanese. In 1946, Thailand signed peace treaties with Britain and France. The same year, the island joined the UN Diwan Main in 1946. A new constitution for Thailand was published. In 1973, thousands of students demonstrated demanding a proper constitution for Thailand. The king prevented the army from crushing the demonstrators, and Thailand returned to civilian government with a coalition of 17 parties. However, in 1976, students demonstrated again. This time, the police brutally suppressed the demonstrations, killing and injuring many students. The army then stepped in and installed a new government in Thailand. From 1980, Thailand gradually introduced a more liberal regime. In 1991, the army staged a coup. A new constitution was introduced in 1997. There was another military coup in Thailand in 2006, but in December 2007, democratic elections were held again. In the early 21st century, Thailand continued to grow economically. Like the rest of the world, Thailand suffered in the recession of 2009, but it soon recovered. Thailand also suffered severe floods in 2011, but soon recovered. Thailand is now a prosperous country, and its economy is growing steadily. I will now give the history of New Zealand. New Zealand gained full independence from Britain in 1947. In 1951, ANZU's Pacific Security Treaty was signed between New Zealand, Australia, and the USA. In the 1960s, New Zealand sent a small combat force to support its troops in Vietnam. In 1984, Prime Minister David Lange began radical free market economic reforms. New Zealand refuses to allow us nuclear-powered or nuclear-armed ships to enter its ports. In 1990, the opposition National Party won the election. And James Bulger became Prime Minister. James Bulger resigned, and Jenny Shipley became New Zealand's first woman Prime Minister. In 1999, Helen Clark became Prime Minister. 2007, police arrest 17 people in anti-terror raids. 2009, New Zealand's economy shrinks for the 5th consecutive quarter, making it officially the longest recession in the country's history. 2013, New Zealand becomes the first country in the Asia-Pacific region to legalize same-sex marriage. Bill English becomes Prime Minister. In 2017, a New Zealand American company, Rocket Lab, launches its first test rocket into space, ushering New Zealand into the select group of countries which have carried out a space launch. When comparing both countries to the United States, both GDPs fall short. However, this is unsurprising, as according to the World Bank, we have the world's largest economy at 23 trillion. However, Thailand's GDP growth rate is 1.5, while the US is 5.9, New Zealand is 3.7. The United States infant mortality rate is 5.6, while New Zealand is lower and Thailand is just a little bit higher at 6.8. When you look at the graphs for these countries, you can clearly see that they have progressed. According to the Gini coefficient household income distribution, in the United States was 0.49. This figure was at 0.43 in 1990, which indicates an increase in income inequality in the US over the past 30 years. In similar fashion, both New Zealand and Thailand have improved over the past 30 years. All three countries have also decreased unemployment rates and the poverty line. When comparing all these factors, the US may be better than New Zealand and Thailand, but the important thing is all these countries have improved, and their statistics are by no means bad. They will just fall behind when compared to the behemoth that is the US. However, all these countries have clearly progressed and taken great strides. Comparing New Zealand and Thailand, since the 1980s reveals significant progress in several key areas. Both countries have experienced economic growth, increased per capita income, and reductions in poverty and infant mortality rates. Unemployment rates have fluctuated, which is reflecting the impact of economic cycles. While challenges remain, the overall trajectory suggests that life has generally improved for citizens in both New Zealand and Thailand since the 1980s. Continued focus on addressing income disparities, enhancing social welfare programs, and sustainable economic development will contribute to further progress and ensure a better quality of life for future generations in these countries. We have defined progress as an ever-turning wheel that will not stop for the pitiful existence that is man. A fleshy hand may reach forth in fear, but will surely be snuffed out. Quiver before the excellence of progress, quiver before I.